So what's the best vlogging lens for the Canon EOS R? It could be this lens. Canon's 4K shoots at almost 1.8x crop, so you need a nice wide angle lens. This lens is a 10-18 f4.5 to 5.6 image stabilized STM lens from Canon. Is this the best vlogging lens for the EOS R? Let's find out. This is with image stabilization all turned off. So I'm shooting this at 10 millimeters in C-Log 8-bit, and this is completely handheld. And I'll walk around a little bit and we'll be able to see the level of shake in the picture. This is a fairly light lens, so it's not too difficult to hold, but I'm sure there's going to be shake in the image just because it's just not that stable. When I'm holding it out here, I can feel my arm shaking a little bit. So let's see how it works with both lens and camera stabilization. So now this is with lens stabilization only. And again, I'm shooting at about 10 millimeters. So I'm not sure if that makes it easier for the lens to stabilize or more difficult. If I was shooting in 1080, I could use a different focal length, but shooting in 4K, I really need to stick to about 10 millimeter focal length. So again, this is with lens stabilization only. So this is with both lens stabilization and electronic stabilization in the EOS R. And again, it kind of depends on how I hold. If I bring my arm in, rest my arm against my body, may be able to hold it a little bit more steady. But if I hold it out, I see a lot of shake in the camera. So I don't know if the combination of lens stabilization and inbuilt electronic stabilization will help or not. My arm's just not very steady holding this. So now bring it in close to my body more, maybe it'll be a little bit more stable. Okay, so next I'm going to try with the enhanced electronic stabilization, see what difference that makes. Okay, so still at 10 millimeters, but the image is definitely cropped in a lot more. This is with lens stabilization and the enhanced digital stabilization. So this should give the most stable image, but it also crops in a lot, even at 10 millimeters. Okay, so we're at Morgan Territory Regional Preserve, and handheld video without a stabilizer is pretty tough because without a stabilizer, my hand is not very steady, even with the lens image stabilization on and the electronic image stabilization. So I'm going to try this with the Ronin S and see how that works. So now this is handheld, but it's using the Ronin S. And what I've done is I'm using a monopod and just leaning it on my hip. And the only concern I have is when I go to turn it, it's a little tricky to make sure that it stays following me. But I have a feeling it's going to be an awful lot less jumpy than when I'm trying to handhold. See now, like I can follow you guys really easy. And although it's not, I don't think it's focusing on your eyes, Connor. There you go, now it's got your eyes. There we go. Hey Murray. Hey Murray, what you doing? Who's a good boy? Hold and move around. So this lens actually works pretty well. But anyway, what a cool place. I think this is going to look awesome on the video. But so I'm not very good at doing handheld video, but I think as long as I keep the Ronin with me, like I could go out someplace and I could vlog like this, And as long as I'm not walking or moving around too much, this is holding the camera and lens perfectly stable. So I think this is definitely much better for me as opposed to trying to do just purely handheld. I'm just too shaky.
Yeah.
So a few final thoughts on using the EFS 10 to 18 lens. First, I have actually found that if I hold the camera with two hands and can hold fairly steady, I can actually use this just fine with the lens image stabilization and the lowest level electronic stabilization. I'll put a couple of videos up here that show that. I've also found that I don't think I'm going to be able to do vlogging where I just use the camera and lens on a little mini tripod, at least with the stabilization as is. I think my arm's just a little bit too shaky, so that's not going to work very well for me. But as long as I have my Ronin S, I should be able to do handheld vlogging okay. I just need that extra stabilization. The lens has fairly good image quality, especially under controlled conditions. I do find that if you're using this lens in bright sunlight, you can get some pretty bad flaring, as you may have seen in the prior video. So this lens is about $249, which makes it one of the cheaper Canon lenses that you can buy. And for that, it works pretty well, especially given that price point. The last thing I want to mention is Metabones has just come out with a new speed booster for the EOS R. And what that does is it will take your standard Canon EF lenses, and the crop when you use a speed booster is only about a 1.2x crop. So that means I may end up being able to use higher end lenses, for example, a 24 to 70 lens, or the Canon kit lens that comes with the EOS R, the 24 to 105. 24 might be wide enough if you only have a 1.2x crop. So that speed booster might be another option for people that are trying to do handheld vlogging. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more like this, be sure and subscribe to my channel. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.